messing with some raw dudes, wrestling, talking, raw views, previews, recaps, and interviews. Definition of professional, tell me what you expected though. Facts are checked when information's collected, yo. We body slamming all these wrestling brands, but of course that's the case when A&T's on hand. We going head to head, this ain't a ratings war. Now's your chance to chat with Steven, what you waiting for?
Welcome everyone to another episode of RawViews. My name is Steven, and we just finished watching the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I wasn't expecting to drop anything until tomorrow. I do have a special guest host, Tom Collahue. However, with so much going on in this pay-per-view, I decided, you know what, let me go ahead and jump on tonight. I'll give you all my thoughts tonight, and then tomorrow I'll give you my joint thoughts with Collahue and see if he agrees with what I thought about the event. First off, I thought the event was very good. We're going to start at the end though. This show was centered around two things: the Universal Championship, the WWE Championship. That's what this show was about, and it was about getting people to tune in and getting stories set up for WrestleMania, and I think they did just that. I tweeted during the show, I thought they could have put the MVP Miz segment earlier in the show. If you actually listen to the first time you saw the Miz on screen, it was with Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny and the Miz go face to face, and Bad Bunny looks at him and says, with his 24/7 title on, "Are you even a champion? You're not even on the show." That in storytelling, folks, is called foreshadowing. And that's exactly what happened tonight. They foreshadowed the future event. You're not even a champion. You're not even on the show. Oh, by the end of the night, The Miz was champion, and he was on the show in a big way. The only way I think you could have made this better is sliding that Bad Bunny segment back one, maybe even to the end of the pre-show or right before the night started. Right before that first Elimination Chamber match, you could have really set the tone with the Miz Bad Bunny segment, and then right after that Chamber match, you could have then gone into the Miz MVP segment, but you probably would needed to wait until after Lashley lost the title, so maybe 2 segments after that. Anyway, you could have restructured it a little bit more to really tell that story throughout the entire night, but they did a good job. They didn't do a great job. They did a really good job, though, telling that story, and that's what this is about tonight. Right now, Monday Night Raw has some buzz around it. The Miz cashes in Money in the Bank, and The Miz is a very, very, very dynamic character. Actually, Tom Cunningham on Friday called him the Alex Rodriguez of the WWE, and I'm going to piggyback on that. I completely agree with that. He is somebody that people either genuinely think is a really, really good high performer or questions why he's even on television each week. And that is a good thing because he does draw attention. He does draw intrigue. He's on numerous USA Network shows. I think he's going to bring some buzz around him. When you're starting to open up WrestleMania and talking about all the other events that you're going to be doing with the show, he's a guy that's plugged into so many different networks. I think moving that title to him was a way to just generate a new spark. Maybe it goes right back to Drew at Mania, but right now The Miz holding that title just breathed a new breath of fresh air into Monday Night Raw, a show in which I think has actually been doing very well storytelling, and that's what, again, they did very well tonight. So, of course, you start with the Bad Bunny thing, and as I mentioned, he foreshadowed it. You don't even have a champion, or do you even have a title? You're not even on the show. Then we fast forward to the conversation with MVP after Lashley loses his U.S. title. MVP looking to broker a deal, maybe. Looking to bring The Miz on board, maybe. We know that MVP likes gold. We know that MVP likes to have, or finds power within success, right? He has the tag champions. He had the U.S. champion. Could he broker a deal with The Miz to either align himself with Miz, bring Miz on board, or make a deal where, okay, Miz, we're going to help you out. However, On the backside, you're going to have to pay us back with a championship match. So it's going to be really interesting going into Raw which one of those scenarios it is. And then, of course, you also now have taken the title off of Drew. You didn't have Sheamus Drew in the finale. Actually, you had Sheamus laying out Drew and then Styles taking out Sheamus. So now Sheamus still has claim to Drew. I beat you on Raw and I was set to beat you again. And you wonder how that's going to play out. Do they have a match at Fastlane? You have Styles that was within one move away. He was one move away from winning that match. Let's go ahead and break that match down. We had Randy Orton getting eliminated fairly quickly in this match. Kofi eliminates him pretty quickly, and then from there you have an elimination by Drew, and you also have I believe Sheamus eliminated Kofi. But you have those two out, and then you're left with the final three. And as I said, Sheamus looks to have once again laid the champion out. And I think that's going to be the transition story. Sheamus feels like he has a stake in the championship. Drew's going to want his rematch. Miz has the title. And now Lashley, what was he promised, or what was MVP promised, to help The Miz gain the championship to begin with? And again, so this is me as a wrestling fan. When you ask me what I like, this is intriguing to me because you've opened up many different paths to where we're going on the road to WrestleMania, and I like the unpredictability of it. I like the fact that we are less than 2 months away from WrestleMania. We're just like 6 weeks away from WrestleMania, and we don't know what the WWE Championship match is going to be yet. And that's exciting to me because we don't know what path they're going to take. And it looks like they're going to make this a very interesting road to WrestleMania, if nothing else. One last note on the WWE Championship. The Miz is currently feuding with Damian Priest. We all know officials are very high on Damian Priest. It's been reported that. And we know that Bad Bunny is drawing crazy great merchandise numbers. So now the question is also, so as I just mentioned the other three, right? Sheamus is going to feel like he has some purpose for going after the championship. Drew is the former champion who's going to say, wait a minute, you didn't beat me straight up. I had to go through a chamber match, then I got the beat down by Lashley, and then you were able to beat me. Lashley possibly promised something, right? MVP could have been promised something. So there's three names. Now let's add a fourth name. Damian Priest started hot. Could he get the rocket pack? Could he get the jetpack with Bad Bunny to go directly to a WWE Championship main event? It's not likely. It is not something WWE typically does, but also WWE typically doesn't leave you with multiple different paths 6 weeks outside of WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. So I am completely intrigued in this. I think Monday Night Raw tomorrow night is a must-watch show. Also on the show tonight, I'm going to wrap Raw up all with this right here. You had Riddle defeat Lashley and John Morrison. I thought it was very good. I also wanted to dive into the character development on this. The end of the match, you know what? Let me paint a little bit of a picture for you. Lashley's been destroying both of these guys for the most of the match. It was a very hard-hitting, very well-paced 8-minute and 40-second match, and it looked like Lashley was going to do what he's been doing. He puts Morrison in the Hurt Lock, and it looks like he's going to just tap out Morrison because that's what he's done for the better part of a year. Is just lock these guys up in the Hurt Lock, and then it's over. And Riddle grabs the crutch from MVP. Off the ground, because Morrison had grabbed the crutch from MVP. But Riddle grabs that crutch and is standing behind Bobby Lashley. And he does this, a slight facial expression where you see, here's my opening. All these months of Lashley getting the better of me. All these months of being laid out. All these months of having to deal with all of the hurt business. Boom. And he lays into Lashley, and then he does it again and again. He gets the pinfall. He beats John Morrison. He wins the United States Championship, and then he runs with the championship because, Lashley's up and he's irate, as he should be, because that's how they built Lashley. But why that win, and why the way that win felt so good as a fan, is because you had been pushed down so many times by Lashley in the Hurt Business. Riddle's been pushed down. So many people before Riddle has been pushed down. And then Riddle finally gets an opportunity. A window opens, and we all see it. There's like a frozen moment when he's holding that crutch behind Bobby Lashley, and we all just internally say, hit him. And then he does, again and again and again. He wins the championship, and again, I love the story there for Riddle overcoming Lashley, and then of course Lashley later on at the end of the night being irate, taking that frustration out on Drew, in which MVP may have brokered a deal with Miz to make him do that. So again, all of this stuff is kind of tied in together. I love it. I think Monday Night Raw tomorrow night has the potential to be one of the best Monday Night Raws in quite some time. I'm really looking forward to watching the show. Also on the card tonight was the story of Roman Reigns, the story of the Universal Championship, the one guy who has really carried WWE and really elevated himself above everybody else. And I thought the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match was the match of the night, clearly. I thought it was a fantastic match. All 6 guys really showed out. I love Kevin Owens, Jey Uso's interaction. Kevin Owens tonight, his intensity was just on 1,000. Like he was headbutting the pod to get out, to just grab a hold of people. I loved the way they eliminated him. Jey Uso slams the chamber door onto Owens' arm, and instead of just kicking him once in the head, he just kicks him in the head over and over and over and over and over and over again, multiple times. KO, then, at that point, what is KO to do? He's been kicked in the head multiple times and had a door slammed against his arm. He gets eliminated that way, so we can continue a Uso KO feud moving forward. Now, does Jimmy come back? Is it a one-on-one feud? I would assume that come Fastlane, they have a one-on-one match, and then that's where maybe Jimmy comes back, and then Owens has to find a partner, which could open up some intriguing doors. You have Daniel Bryan, you have Cesaro. Does he flip Sami Zayn back? It doesn't look like it, because Sami extended the olive branch out during the match, and KO does what KO does to Sami Zayn, and that says, no thank you. So, really good things going on in that chamber match. Again, we get down to the final 3. It's Daniel Bryan, it's Jey Uso, it's Cesaro. And you're asking yourself, is it going to be Bryan? Is it going to be Cesaro? I predicted Cesaro. I was wrong. It ended up being Bryan. Jey Uso eliminates Cesaro, and then Daniel Bryan eliminates Jey Uso, which leads us then to the cell lifting, and Bryan, who had his knee smashed throughout the night. I mean, he got beat down so much during that match. The chamber rises, and out walks, saunters, with all the smugness he possibly can. Roman Reigns comes out, and it's perfect. It is an absolute perfect representation of what this Roman Reigns character is. You can scratch, you can claw, you can finally get to me, but even when you get to me, I'm just so much better than you. And Roman Reigns comes down to the ring. We get a hope spot. Daniel Bryan does a really cool reversal on Roman into the yes lock. Doesn't matter. We see a very vicious and intense Roman Reigns, who's almost mad that he didn't just end Bryan within 3-5 seconds. He's angry about that, so he just pummels Bryan to nothing, chokes him out, gets the victory, and then in comes Edge. We get our first sign point of WrestleMania season, and, I thought Edge could have been used elsewhere, but then you see it. You see what happened on SmackDown on Friday with their interactions, and you see it tonight, and it clicks. It clicked for me. I think Edge was absolutely the right choice for Roman Reigns, although I've been saying for the past couple weeks, maybe he's not. Then you actually see it on screen, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's what it should have been the whole time. That's what it's going to be, and that's what it is. Reigns, Edge, set for WrestleMania. I like the fact they announced it Something else from this show, they must have had 8 to 10 advertisements from different companies on this show. Kudos to them for finding more revenue streams. Finally, another match I'll touch on, the women's tag match. Thought was probably not the best match of the night. I don't really like Reginald's shoehorning into this. I get that he's got a thing for Sasha, and that was her downfall. And you have Nia, picking up the pieces. You protect Bianca from taking a pinfall because she was just a Royal Rumble winner, and you're going to want to keep her looking strong. Sasha's a proven champion, so she can take a pinfall. It's not a big deal. And, it's at the expense of the story with Reginald, who has an infatuation with Sasha, who's trying to help her. But in the end, it doesn't help at all. I felt like this was probably not the best part of the show. Obviously, I think we're going to Bianca Sasha, unless, they're going to flip Bianca over to Raw and have her challenge Asuka. Nothing from the Raw women's side tonight, even though they said it on the pre-show. So we'll find out more about that. I'll talk more about that on Tuesday. I just wanted to break this down. Oh, the pre-show match, by the way, was fantastic. I thought Morrison, Elias, Ali, and Ricochet put on a really, it was like a 7 or 8 minute match, but it was really well paced. The speed was great of it. But again, this show, 2 stories tonight, and it is the 2 most important stories in the entire company: the Universal Championship, the WWE Championship. That's where we're headed to WrestleMania. The Miz, now champion, with a plethora of possible paths. Roman Reigns, path predetermined. Edge, looks right. He's already beaten Daniel Bryan. Maybe you get another Daniel Bryan match at Fastlane. Maybe we set up a tag match with Roman and Uso versus Edge and Christian at Fastlane. There's some options there. But, again, 2 championships, 2 different paths, right? Because The Miz, multiple paths. Roman's path, already determined. I think the show was an absolute home run. It has Twitter buzzing. It had me wanting to jump on right after the show to record this. I'm stoked for Raw tomorrow. What about you? Let me know in the comment section below. I will still be dropping another episode tomorrow with my good friend Tom Collahu. I'll be bringing these stories up to him and seeing what he thinks about it. Seeing if he's seeing the same thing I am, or maybe he's seeing it from a different way. Tune in tomorrow. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button. I can't believe we're halfway to 100 subscribers already. I have some really big guests coming in. The format for the show is going to slightly change. I'll open the show with a monologue, and then I'll bring a guest in, and then I will kind of go from there. I hope you're enjoying this so far. If you are, share it on Twitter. Let people know. Help me market this show. Help me make it successful. Go ahead. Again, subscribe. If you like what I'm saying, hit the thumbs up. And below, let me ask you to answer this before we leave today. Who will be the WWE Champion at WrestleMania? And what will that match be at WrestleMania? Let me know in the comment section below. And as I always do, my tribute to The Miz. Until next time, be awesome.